Let's begin this Thursday edition of the SportsMax Zone with a groundbreaking move from the Jamaica Premier League club Arnett Gardens. The Junglists have forged a multi-year partnership with Dream Entertainment, which is widely regarded as Jamaica's top event promoters. The partnership is aimed at growing the club while providing a sustainable financial future. Arnett Gardens, who are five-time champions of the Jamaica Premier League, finished third last season, and after winning the CFU Club Shield in August, are currently taking part in the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup, aiming to qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League. And they're getting ready, of course, to start the 2024-25 Jamaica Premier League season. So how is this partnership set to benefit both entities? Let's find out now from Chairman of Arnett Gardens, Mark Golding. Mr. Golding, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you on the show for the first time, sir. Can you answer this question first? What triggered this decision for this partnership?
Well, I've been very concerned for some time about the overall viability of professional football in Jamaica. Because what has been happening is that most of the clubs came out of community football. And as the world of football internationally has become increasingly professionalized and commercialized, the governing bodies, FIFA, CONCACAF, have raised the bar, they demand ever higher standards of clubs in order to be eligible to play, to be registered and so on. And therefore the costs of running the league and running clubs continue to get heavier. And we need to find a business model in Jamaica that can support clubs and make them financially sustainable. At the same time, clubs like Arnett Gardens are rooted in the community and are really community enterprises. They belong to the community and are managed for the benefit, really, of the community. So you have to balance those things. So what I've been trying to do for some time is to find a way, a structure, a model that achieves those objectives. I was very involved just before COVID in the year 2019, really, in the revisioning of what was then the PLCA, which was a company that had been set up a decade or more ago to run the Football League in Jamaica and had fallen into problems. And a group of us, myself and other football stakeholders, started to meet regularly to discuss a different approach to how we could bring a new day to football, professional football, that would give it a chance of sustainability and raise standards of football and make it better for players, make it better for fans, make it better for the media, and so on. And that is how eventually professional football Jamaica evolved. It evolved out of those discussions and that work. And so that was a very important step, because what that has done is it has created a governance structure and a legal structure which allows the effective commercialization of Jamaican football to earn revenues at the league level that are then distributed to the clubs and help them to survive and to grow. So having done that, we've been looking at other things. So we'll be shortly announcing a big sponsorship arrangement that we have with a major private sector company. We'll be announcing that in September. But I was really looking for a partner, a commercial partner, a business partner that could really focus on the revenue side of the business and try and grow the business so that the club itself can cover its overheads, cover its expenses, and generate sufficient revenues to support not just the senior team, but a development program. And of course, the upgrading, maintenance and upgrading of the facilities and everything else. So Dream, these young Jamaican businessmen who have made a name for themselves in the world of entertainment, expressed an interest. And, we started to have discussions. They have made a name for themselves in parties, large entertainment events. They have achieved a standard of excellence in that field of endeavor. And they see sports and football in particular really as just another dimension of entertainment. People watch football as fans because they find it entertaining and they love it. So for them, it seems to be a natural fit. And, I love the energy that they bring. They're brimming with ideas, and they're looking to find novel ways and innovative ways to strengthen the club and strengthen the revenue base of the club and achieve what I really am setting out to achieve, which is ultimately financial sustainability for Arnett Gardens Football Club, so it can continue to support itself and support the community of Arnett Gardens, Trenchtown, Jonestown, and the surrounding communities into the future, long after I'm gone. So that's really what I've been trying to do, Lance.
Yeah. All right. Just from the outside looking in, though, Mr. Golding, it does appear to be a bit of an unorthodox partnership. Is there a template or some precedent that you had seen or identified elsewhere that gives you a good feeling about this, or is it just a brand new experiment that you expect to work?
I can't say that we fashioned it off of any particular past transaction in football, no. But the basic tenets of it are fairly straightforward and are cohesive. So I don't see why it shouldn't work if they are able to execute on the dream that they have. So essentially, they provide management oversight and strategic planning, focusing primarily on revenue growth in the different revenue streams. And for that, there's a sharing of net revenues, which is agreed we have an agreement together, and that's basically the deal. They will support the club going forward as well, to the extent that there's a need to. So this is the basic deal that we have. And, so it's a partnership of sorts, a joint venture of sorts. And the good thing about it is that they want very much to work with the community. So they're sensitive to the needs of the community and the expectations of the community. The existing management team that we have is in place and continues to manage the club day to day, but very much collaborating. It's an iterative process. There, daily dialogue about all issues, and it's early days yet. This is the first week really of its existence, so we'll see how it works over time. But I'm optimistic so far, and as I said before, I do like the energy that they bring to it, the positive energy, the optimism, and the ideas, the innovative ideas that they have.
Yeah, and Mr. Golding, with any partnership, it must be mutually beneficial. So I get the sense that Arnett Gardens Football Club is going to benefit by, Dream bringing entertainment, mixing it in the community, mixing everything up and ensuring that the community has a good time. And of course, it's an enjoyable product. But how does Dream benefit from this partnership?
Dream benefits from this partnership because it enables their core expertise to be applied to a new area, a new sector, the football sector, and to grow revenues through the marketing prowess that they have and the commercialization and innovation that they can bring to the table, and the sharing of revenue that will come from that. So they are in it because they have a revenue sharing arrangement with the club based on the net revenues that are generated by the club after expenses are paid. So, we have a common interest, the club and they have a common interest in growing revenues, achieving financial viability, and creating surpluses that the club can benefit from and the community can benefit from through the club. And they Dream will benefit because of the effort that they're putting in, the innovation and ideas that they bring to the table, and their assistance in executing on those ideas.
Yeah, Mr. Golding, you mentioned a short while ago the major announcement that's coming up this month in terms of a sponsorship deal. Was that in partnership with Dream Entertainment?
That predated Dream. We've been having discussions with that partner from before we actually had discussions with Dream. And, it's taken us a little time to sort things out with them, but we're ready to go. They're ready to go. So you'll be hearing about that within a week or two.
Yeah. You alluded to it earlier, but I want to get in more specific terms what the expectations are in terms of how Dream Entertainment, of course, in collaboration with the Arnett Gardens Football Club, will go about achieving the type of growth that you are looking for, and also if you have sat down and sort of pinpointed specific targets that you would like the partnership to achieve in very specific timeframes as well.
Well, based on the discussions that we've been having, we see potential growth in bringing more fans to the club, widening the fan base, which is already wide, but they feel there's potential to widen it further. Jamaica, the diaspora, the region. We see the potential for merchandising at a much higher level than we've been able to do it so far. And we also see the need for having a more structured and focused development program for younger players. You know, that has been something which I've wanted to see happen, and we've done it a bit, but resources are a big constraint. And as we grow revenues, we want to also focus on investing in a pipeline of talent coming to Arnett Gardens because they want to play the best football in Jamaica with the strongest brand, and realize the potential that a footballing career now provides for young Jamaicans. I mean, we've recently signed, as you know, Ronaldo Cephas. He was the first signing that we had since I came on board, and with an international club. He went to Macedonia in Europe, and then a year later they sold him to a club in Turkey. He's having some issues with that club, I believe, but I'm sure he will find a suitable home where he will be able to, further develop his considerable talents. And then more recently, we've signed Kaheem Dixon to Charlton Athletic, which is a well-known English club and has a strong history in football. And Kaheem, Ronaldo Cephas went to Charlie Smith High School, which is right next door to our home base at the Tony Spalding complex. And Kaheem Dixon grew up in Trenchtown on 2nd Street. So he's a homeboy. And so we're very proud of what he has achieved as a 19-year-old going on to Charlton Athletic. And I believe he has a very bright future ahead of him. And I think that Charlton are very serious about trying to develop him into a top-class, highly prized professional footballer. We see the potential for young Jamaican players to really make a very good life for themselves and their families out of football. And so from my perspective, getting the funding in place to focus on development of young talent is really what all our clubs need to be doing. But it's very difficult unless you have a strong economic model, unless the economic model that you're in as an enterprise can sustain that type of investment. So, and I believe that's also the vision of the PFJL as well. They see the importance of this. So I think football has a bright future in Jamaica, and I think that the clubs are going to be the source of that. And and I really want to see as much as possible, schoolboy football integrating into the club system, so that there's a seamless transition. We lose a lot of talent leaving high school, and they don't end up through our club networks, and many of them are lost to football and so on. We need to find ways that we can provide them with the opportunities, and so they can see the light, so to speak, that yes, they can defer perhaps doing tertiary education, or they can do it part-time online or whatever, while they really forge their talent and pursue football as a career if they have what it takes. And I believe many young Jamaican ballers should be given that opportunity, because it is a lucrative industry, and we're just scratching the surface now.
Yeah, and do you expect now, with a lot of attention being placed on the investment and bringing financial stability to the club, that the Arnett Gardens players will feel very motivated to, of course, win the JPL title, and more players will be excited to represent Arnett Football Club?
Yeah, I mean, our players are motivated. They love to win. The spirit within the team is excellent. I must say, I think our coach, Xavier Gilbert, has done a great job at building that camaraderie, and it's the discipline within the team and the attitude of the players is very positive. And of course, though they were disappointed that they didn't get into the final, they were in the last 2 years we've been knocked out at the semi-final stage of the JPL. We did come third, and we won the playoff for third, and as a result, we qualified for the Caribbean Shield, and went on to win that for the first time a Jamaican club is winning that Shield, and that further qualified us for the Caribbean Cup, which we are now in. So along with Cavalier and Mount Pleasant, I think it is. So that I think has given the players a lot of impetus to continue to exercise and exhibit the positivity and determination to win that has been delivering results for them. So they are, I think, motivated already. They love Arnett, they love the community, and they love football. So yes, I think that is an ongoing thing that will continue.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Golding, we're pretty much out of time, but it would be remiss of me to not ask you, as the leader of the opposition, the People's National Party, who is...
Hold on, I have to change my hat now.
Oh, you will? I know that you have your PNP conference, your annual conference coming up this weekend, but just a quick comment on the party's feeling about the current government's performance governing sport in the country. Not to take this thunder away from what your sports people will be saying on the weekend, but it's an opportunity on the SportsMax Zone to just say something from your standpoint.
I personally think that the sports has lacked government attention. I think, Minister Grange is somebody I respect and admire, but she has culture, she has entertainment, and she has gender, and she has sports. And I think that sports is not getting sufficient attention. So I think the government's support of football is not being rolled out in what I'd call a strategic way, looking at the various inputs that need the attention of government to support the growth of the sport and the improvement of standards of the sport, for example. In the area of cricket, the fact that I think we dropped the ball by basically making Jamaica no longer a participant as a venue in international cricket, which is a travesty because of our strong historical pedigree. Sabina Park is one of the iconic grounds in the world. Garfield Sobers scored 365 not out at Sabina Park. That was the highest score in Test cricket for years and years and years. And there are many other things that have happened at Sabina Park over the years that are notable in the history of cricket. Yet we don't have the Caribbean. The CPL is not being played in Jamaica. The World Cup, we didn't have any matches in Jamaica. And it's a lack of vision, I think, around that. They haven't been able to do anything with the Trelawney Stadium, which was, built as an asset that we have, but we're not using. And they've been there for 8 years. So, and we see what happened with the Olympics, where there were a lot of issues. And that, I think, needs a commission of inquiry. We need to have a commission of inquiry into what happened in relation to the Olympics and some of the things that went wrong and why they went wrong and what needs to change so we don't have those problems again. So I obviously you're asking somebody from the opposition, the leader of the opposition, but I really don't think sports has benefited in the way it should have from the type of attention that it ought to get, because it's from the point of view of fighting crime and violence, sports has a major role to play in communities. From the point of view of giving people opportunities to advance themselves in life, sports has a major role to play. In terms of our international brand and our potential as a nation, sports is there as a major part of what we have to offer the world. So sports can be sort of an afterthought or a third cousin. Sports needs to be up front and center.
All right. Mark Golding, chairman of the Arnett Gardens Football Club, but also leader of the opposition, and just expressing some views on the treatment of sport in the country at the moment. I guess we'll hear more from you over the weekend at your party conference, sir. But thanks for talking to us, and we wish Arnett Gardens the best of luck with your new partnership and the upcoming football season.
Thank you very much, SportsMax Zone. Thank you, Lance and Ricardo and Mariah. And, you know, Lance, whenever I see you at Arnett, you look like you're at home and you enjoy the vibes there. So that's great. And, you know, you're always welcome, you guys. Thanks for the support.
Thank you very much. That's Mark Golden, chairman of the Arnett Gardens Football Club. And we have a lot more coming up on the SportsMax Zone. We'll be back after the break.